Although it's been almost 20 years since Spongebob Squarepants debuted on Nickelodeon, it seems like just yesterday they were seated in front of their television screens, relishing in the comedy and shenanigans of Bikini Bottom's underwater community. Or maybe it was yesterday. After all, a lot of adults are truly kids at heart.
These are some ugly-looking fish.
Maybe we're near one of those toxic waste dumps.
Whether you're young or old, most would agree that Spongebob Squarepants has been a cornerstone in childhood development for the last generation. Having been almost universally critically well received since it's been on the air, the show has given us some of the greatest televised cartoon episodes of our lives.
You guys saved my life!
I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and these are what we consider to be the top 10 best episodes of Spongebob Squarepants. And don't forget to hit that notification bell for a free chocolate bar.
Chocolate! Chocolate!
Number 10. Squilliam Returns. If you've ever binge-watched the series, there is something about the episode Squilliam Returns which just sticks in your mind. Seen in Season 3, the episode focuses on Squidward's character as he tries to impress his arch-nemesis from high school, Squilliam, a rich guy who happens to be in town. In an attempt to prove to Squilliam that he has made something of himself since their school days, Squidward temporarily takes ownership over the Krusty Krab, converting it into what he considers a 5-star restaurant.
I own a 5-star restaurant! Squidward, I had no idea you were such a success!
Unfortunately for Squidward, as is usually the case, his plan goes horribly wrong, and eventually Squilliam learns the truth that Squidward is actually a cashier at the restaurant and that he doesn't actually own it. This episode is great, not only because it explores Squidward's insecurities, but also the lengths at which he will go to impress someone. After all, it's not every day a cartoon show handles psychological play with such ease. Number 9. Franken Doodle. Out of all the SpongeBob episodes aired, Franken Doodle is a real crowd favorite. No, it's not a spin-off of Frankenstein, so there's no need to hide under the covers. It does, however, feature one of SpongeBob's scariest scenes yet. The plot of the episode starts when a French writer cruising on the ocean's surface accidentally drops his pencil in the open sea. No! SpongeBob discovers the pencil at the ocean's floor, eventually deciding to doodle with it. In doing so, he realizes that the pencil brings to life whatever he ends up drawing. With this revelation, he draws Doodlebob, which turns out to be a sketch of himself brought to life, which happens to have a very evil side.
Doodleboy, stop!
Viewers are taken on a real nail-biting roller coaster ride as they fear not only for SpongeBob and his friends, but also for all the residents of Bikini Bottom. And by fear, I mean laugh uncontrollably, because it's one of the funniest episodes of the series.
You doodle! Me, SpongeBob!
Number 8. Krusty Krab Training Video. Ever wanted to learn what it takes to work at the Krusty Krab? Believe you me, a spot at the best burger joint in Bikini Bottom doesn't come easy. And even if you do land a job here, that's the simple part. You're a real pro when you make your first Krabby Patty by hand.
Can I make a Krabby Patty now?
Oh no.
But of course, before a new employee is allowed to work in the kitchen, they have to first properly learn the rules and regulations of the restaurant. This is exactly what the Krusty Krab training video does. It provides an insight into the inner workings of the series' main restaurant. It also details the procedures and training methods to which new employees are subject in order to be superb workers there.
Haha, not so fast, Eager McBeaver.
All while parodying the classic at-work training videos. This is another gem of an episode with great humor that really nails all of its jokes. Number 7. SB129. This episode from Season 1 took time travel to a whole new level. What started off as Squidward trying to get out of a jellyfishing trip with SpongeBob and Patrick ended up landing him a ticket to the future. 2,000 years ahead to be exact. Basically, Squidward hides from SpongeBob and Patrick in a storage freezer in the Krusty Krab to avoid spending time with them. When he tries to leave, he realizes the door won't open and he ends up getting frozen there for 2,000 years.
2,000 years later.
He's only thawed out when Spongetron finds him in the storage freezer. The episode then focuses on Squidward trying to find his way back to his time period, leading him to different versions of SpongeBob from different eras. Known for its play on the sci-fi genre, as well as introducing us to SpongeGar, this is often considered one of the best episodes from Season 1. Number 6, the camping episode. We all know that a running gag in the series is SpongeBob and Patrick's mischievous activities which always get on Squidward's nerves, and the camping episode pretty much revolves around that. In this case, SpongeBob and Patrick decide to go camping on SpongeBob's front lawn, much to the annoyance of Squidward. All Squidward wanted to do was enjoy a tranquil and peaceful weekend.
You've waited a long time for this. A soft bed, warm tea, a good book. Bah!
But those plans got squashed when his favorite people in Bikini Bottom set up their camping spot right outside his window. Squidward eventually joins the two for a night of storytelling and roasting marshmallows. And of course, one of the greatest SpongeBob songs in the show's history.
C-A-M-B-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G song. C-A-M-B-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G song.
Without a doubt, this episode deserves a spot on the list because it's one of the funniest episodes in the series. I mean, how often does Squidward get mauled by a sea bear? Only in this episode. Number 5, Rock Bottom. Rock Bottom is one of the most viewed and critically well-received episodes in the entire series. Actually, when it was released, over 2.1 million viewers watched the episode. After going to Glove Park with his pal Patrick,
I got gloves for my glove action figure.
SpongeBob ends up missing his bus stop. Unfortunately for him, he winds up in Rock Bottom.
Where is this SpongeBob?
Rock bottom.
One of the darker parts of the ocean, both literally and figuratively. After all the buses in Rock Bottom left poor SpongeBob stranded, all the lights went out, covering the place in complete darkness. Spooky, huh? Well, for SpongeBob, that wasn't the least of his worries. Forget his safety, who was gonna feed Gary? He does, however, start to freak out when he realizes he's stuck in an unknown dark place until God knows when.
Okay, that's enough. Don't come closer. I'm warning you.
Rock Bottom is undoubtedly one of the scariest episodes in Spongebob Squarepants, and not exactly for the faint-hearted. That said, SpongeBob's terror does add some comedic relief. It's definitely one of the most memorable episodes for sure. Number 4, Graveyard Shift. If you thought Rock Bottom was spooky, buckle your seatbelts for Graveyard Shift. Just remember not to turn off the lights. It all starts with Mr. Krab's belief that the Krusty Krab would make even more money if it were open 24/7. As a result, he has his employees working the graveyard shift, Squidward on cash and SpongeBob frying those patties. Squidward, being the mischievous character that he is, spooks poor SpongeBob out with a made-up story of the hash-slinging slasher.
Hash-slinging slasher?
The slash-bringing hasher?
A former employee and fry cook at the restaurant. With loads of suspense, terror, and dry comedy, thanks to Squidward, the episode is really a fan favorite. It also happens to put together our two beloved characters in a bizarre twist of events which make you want to sleep with one eye open. Number 3, Pizza Delivery. Don't you just love the episodes that focus on Squidward and SpongeBob's weird love-hate relationship? Well, this is exactly what Pizza Delivery does. The plot revolves around the two employees having to go deliver a pizza for Mr. Krabs, because money. They end up getting lost along the way in Bikini Bottom.
Where's the road? Where's the road?
With both of them hungry and unsure of where they were, you know that it's a recipe for disaster. As expected, Squidward was angry and wanted to eat the pizza. SpongeBob, being the fabulous employee that he is, does not allow him to do so.
Wait.
No! No!
The episode ends with SpongeBob being able to transport both of them back home using a mysterious rock that he finds.
Safe, 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 safe. Yeah, we are safe.
It's a great episode because it's really an in-depth look at the two and their strange relationship. And of course, we can't talk about Pizza Delivery without playing this clip.
Yeah, pizza is the pizza, yeah, for you and me.
Number 2, Chocolate with Nuts. Heralded as some as being perhaps one of the funniest episodes in Spongebob Squarepants, Chocolate with Nuts is bound to have you rolling on the ground with laughter. What exactly makes this episode so funny? Well, just to set the scene, the episode explores SpongeBob and Patrick's desire to live the fancy life.
Hey, a magazine! magazine.
SpongeBob accidentally receives Squidward's edition of Fancy Living Digest and got a stroke of inspiration to become an entrepreneur.
That's it, Patrick. We gotta become entrepreneurs.
With his trusted sidekick Patrick, the two embark on a business venture selling chocolate door to door. To say that they encountered some colorful characters along their selling spree would be a very modest way of describing the kinds of characters they meet. This episode is ranked so highly because frankly, everything about it is hilarious. Every person they encounter, every line, every joke, everything hits so well. From the crazy guy screaming chocolate,
Chocolate! Chocolate! Chocolate!
to the old lady who's so old she's basically a skeleton,
I remember when they first invented chocolate.
to the other salesman with the sob story. Chocolate with Nuts is one of the funniest SpongeBob episodes ever made.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning I break my legs.
Number 1. Band Geeks. Oh, you knew it was coming, and it's a sweet victory. The finale of Season 2 was not a disappointment, and the directors and producers of the show pulled out everything they could to make sure that this episode was non-stop laughter and relentless comedy. And of course, one of the most epic songs ever produced for television that clearly should have been performed at the Super Bowl halftime show instead of stupid Adam Levine. Basically, Squidward tries to get a marching band in superb form for the Bubble Bowl.
I've got to drum up a marching band fast.
Unfortunately for him, he's failing miserably, and that's where the real laughter kicks in. Watching Squidward struggle with his band will have anyone laughing their butt off. And sure, we get it, this episode is hilarious, but the best episode in the series? That's a heck of a statement. This episode is the perfect combination of humor, togetherness, and fun. And of course, it features an amazing performance of the song Sweet Victory. If you've made it this far, there's a good chance that you love SpongeBob SquarePants as much as we do. Did your favorite episode make the cut on our list? Let us know what your favorite episode is in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, but most importantly, stay wicked.